speaker, who is Mr. Hiroyuki Osada. He's the Deputy Director of the RIKEN Center for Sustainable Resource Science. He's near Tokyo. He completed his education from the University of Tokyo in the Department of Agriculture Chemistry. He's an editorial member of different journals and published a lot of papers. So he will speak today about the screening of novel antimalarial agents in RIKEN NPDepo. Yes.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you very much for a kind introduction.
I'm very happy to talk on the front of the very, very large delegation. That's the biggest delegation. But today I would like to about the screening of the antimalarial agent. And we utilize the library in NPDepo. So I start with some brief introduction of the RIKEN, because next speaker, Dr. Yoshida, and I are working for RIKEN. Therefore, I'd like to talk about RIKEN. The RIKEN is a government-supported institute. From this April, RIKEN became a national R&D institute. The RIKEN is the oldest, largest, and the most advanced research institute in Japan. Our center, RIKEN Center for Sustainable Resource Science, is located in Wako here. There's a headquarters in Wako, very close to Tokyo, and also Yokohama campus, this area here. And we constructed the chemical library. We named it RIKEN Natural Product Depository, RIKEN NPDepo. We collect the chemicals from natural resources as well as the commercially available natural product related compounds. And we open to public the database which contains the biological data and the chemical data. I have been serving the director of the antibiotics laboratory in RIKEN from 1992 to this year. We collected many microbial metabolites, and we purified the chemicals from microbial metabolites, and those are active against the mammalian cells. Basically, we focus on the chemicals active against the mammalian cells. But today, I changed my main subject, different from the mammalian cells, but malarians. In this slide, the compound we isolated from microbial metabolites, for example, cell cycle inhibitors, those compounds inhibited the mammalian cell cycle progression at a G1 phase or a G2 phase or an M phase. Also, we purified several compounds which regulate apoptosis of mammalian cells. And also, we isolated several inhibitors against the angiogenesis of tumor cell. Some of these compounds are marketed as a bioflow because this type of chemicals is very useful as a candidate of the anti-tumor compound, and also these compounds are very useful to analyze the mammalian cell function. The mammalian cell function is very complex to analyze. Therefore, gene knockdown or siRNA is one of the good strategy to analyze the cell function. But also, these compounds are utilized for the analyze mammalian cell function. Therefore, we named bioprobe for these chemicals, and these bioprobes are now commercially available. This slide shows how to isolate the chemicals from microbial metabolites. We intensively purify the microbial metabolites by the systematic isolation method, and we collected many microbial metabolites, and those are deposited in the metabolomic libraries. If we find the good activity, biological activity of the microbial metabolites, we synthesize the derivatives of the bioactive compound. Those derivatives are deposited into the focused library. Metabolics metabolomics library and the focused libraries are the constituents of the chemical library in NPDepo. This is a database of the natural product which we constructed. During the self-purification of microbial metabolites or natural products of plant origin, we separate those compounds by using the LCMS, liquid chromatography with mass spectrometry and the photodiode array system. Using this system, we can analyze the metabolites. Can you see the color? Different color is derived from the different strain of microorganisms. For example, red colors dots came from the one strain of microorganisms. And these dots indicate the retention time of HPLC, and it indicates the hydrophobicity of the compound. And also this y-axis indicates the M/Z, it's a mass number. And also, if we click each spot, we can observe the UV spectrum taken by the photodiode array system. This database indicates 3D data containing the hydrophobicity and the mass number and also UV. Using this database, we could obtain many novel compounds from microbial metabolites. This slide shows just an example from 2010 to this year. We could isolate many novel metabolites from microbial origin. And these compounds are subjected to the screening of the some antibacterial and antimalarial and also anti-tumor activity. This slide shows the source of the NPDepo library and also the contents of chemical library. Pure compound is about 4,000 compounds are deposited in our NPDepo library. This number is not so great compared with the chemical libraries in pharmaceutical industries or agrochemical industries. However, the uniqueness of this library is natural product and natural product derivatives. These numbers are substantial compared with any other chemical libraries. Also, we collected the broth library. Broth library means we cultured each strain isolated from soil or sea bottoms, and we accumulated the culture broth of the microorganisms. It contains over 8,000 strains. And also, we collected the semi-purified fraction from the broth library. It contains over 10,000 libraries. We call it a fraction library. Okay. Using these chemical libraries, we screen the antimalarial activity. Before talking the result of the antimalarial screening, I'd like to talk about fear of malaria. You may know about malaria, but recently the death of the malaria is decreasing, but the resistant malaria is increasing. Therefore, still, malaria is the most dangerous and the most serious infectious diseases for us. 2013, WHO reported the malaria cases, about 200 million cases and about 6,000 attributed deaths per year. Especially the Africa or tropical and subtropical area is suffered with malaria. Fortunately, European country, now our Japan, is not suffered with malaria so far. But recently, global warming may cause malaria spread in the many countries. This is a life cycle of malaria parasite. The mosquito bite is the first initial of the malaria cases, but after malaria is maintained in the liver for a long time, it's as a dormancy. Without bite of the mosquito, the malaria is sleeping in liver for several months, even years, and sometimes the rupture of cytosol and reactivated the malaria and introduced to the blood stream, and red blood cell is distributed in the whole body, and the malaria symptoms appeared. Please remember that hemozoin. Hemozoin is formed by the malaria parasite. It's an iron-containing pigment which accumulates as the cytoplasmic granules in malaria parasite, and is a breakdown product of hemoglobin. Actually, this life cycle is a target of the antimalarial agent, especially hemozoin is a target of the traditional malaria agent, antimalarial agent, such as chloroquine. Chloroquine is the synthetic derivative of quinine, which was originally isolated from the bark of cinchona trees. It inhibits the hemozoin formation of protozoa. Here is the structure of chloroquine. And artemisinin is a more active against malaria parasite. Artemisinin was isolated from an herb, Artemisinia annua, described the Chinese traditional medicine. The artemisinin induced the calcium imbalance in erythrocyte, then cured malaria parasite. This is the structure of artemisinin. But it is difficult to suppress the malaria growth by the single agent. Therefore, several combination therapy is applicable. For example, atobacom and bromide combination is utilized for antimalarial agent. The atobacom is an inhibitor of electron transport in mitochondria, and the progranil acts as an inhibitor of the dehydrofolate reductase. The both compounds are used for combination therapy of malaria. However, there are several problems of the antimalarial therapy. Most significant problems are listed here. Drug-resistant parasites are widely spreading in the world. Also, artemisinin is a good antimalarial agent. However, it is difficult to supply from the herb. Therefore, many attempts are achieved to make derivatives, but still, artemisinin derivatives are difficult to synthesize and they are expensive. The effective malarial vaccine has not yet been developed. This is our aim of the research. The development of new antimalarial agent is required. Screening for inhibitors of in vitro parasite growth from our NPDepo library has started based on this background. From the next slide, I'm talking about the screening of antimalarial agent. A lactate dehydrogenase screening system is applicable for high-throughput screening. The LDH is one of the glycolytic enzymes, and it's an indicator. It can be indicator of malaria growth. Okay. We set up the red blood cells infected with a parasite. About 0.3% of malaria parasite is infected in blood cells, and these cells are set up in the 96 well plates and incubate in the at the 37 centigrade and 72 hours. And after that, we added the antimalarial agent or candidate compound to this culture condition. And for 72 hours, after 72 hours, thermalized under the -80 degree, and add the reaction mixture containing this substrate and this substrate, and incubate 10 minutes at room temperature to measure the absorbance of 620. This method is described by Makula and Hinch. We apply this method. This is an example of the screening result. These are control wells. The red pigment and the black pigment, can you see the difference of the color? Anyway, if we added some active compound, that color is more red.
Excuse me. NBT is nitroglutatrazolium.
Ah, yes.
And NPF nitroglufonasan.
Yeah, it's exactly.
So I
Yes.
see the difference.
And to carry out this screening system, we used the RIKEN handling robots and plate reader, and also, of course, we added the chemical libraries from NPDepo. Okay. And I will talk about the result of the screening. We applied about 70,000 compound to the screening system. And the first hit, it's obtained by the LDH assay, as I mentioned, and using the chloroquine sensitive strain. It's a normal parasite. Okay? And we obtained the 450 hit compounds. And as a second screening, we assayed the cytotoxicity of this compound against the NH3T3 cells or normal rat kidney cells. And less cytotoxic compounds were found at the 86 compounds. These 86 compounds were again screened by the third screen using the chloroquine resistant parasite Plasmodium strain. And finally, we obtained the 36 hit compounds. There are 13 artemisinin derivatives are included in 36 compounds, and also berberine, schnellobin, and etc. are included in 36 hit compounds. Kinomycin and NPD 10928, I abbreviate just NPD compound. These compounds are obtained as a hit compound. However, the kinomycin was very toxic against NH3T3 and the NRK cells, as shown here. Chloroquine is as a control. This 3D7 is a chloroquine sensitive strain of parasite, and the K1 and the DD2 are the chloroquine resistant Plasmodium parasites. The chloroquine is active against 3D7. However, the little bit insensitive to K1 and the DD2. These are the chloroquine resistant strain. But chloroquine is less toxic to the mammalian cell. Therefore, it can be used for the therapeutic agent, antimalarial agent. But kinomycin is so toxic to cells. Therefore, chloroquine itself cannot be used for the antimalarial therapy. But this compound, NPD compound, has a good profile. This compound is active against the chloroquine sensitive and resistant strain at the almost same concentration and less cytotoxicity. It's an ideal profile in vitro. But we obtain the chloroquine-related compound derivative from actinomycetes. RK1355A and B are the newly isolated compounds from the actinomycetes we collected. And this is already reported, kinomycin and UK 63598. as I mentioned, chloroquine is very active against the chloroquine sensitive strain, but not so active against the chloroquine resistant strain. This, chloroquine here, not active against resistant strain. But clinomycin and its derivatives act against these sensitive and resistant strain at the same concentration. Okay. But UK compound or RK compound is very close to, regarding the chemical structure, but those is quite different. This is very potent, less than 1 nanomolar concentration, but these compounds are more ineffective to this strain, over 100 nanomolar concentration. The only the difference of the chemical structure here, the sulfoxide or just a S bridge. This oxygen is inactivated the activity of the clinomycin derivatives. Therefore, we gave up the further evaluation of this compound. Then we focused on the NPD compound because it is very active against the parasites at 88 nanomolar concentration. And we synthesized or we collected the derivatives of NPD compounds, like here. Quinazoline containing chemicals are listed here, but unfortunately, other derivatives are not so effective against a parasite because this moiety, diethyl N portion is very important for the antimalarial activity. This portion is contained in the chloroquine as well. But next, we tried the evaluation of the NPD compound against mice. The preliminary in vivo antimalarial efficacy of NPD compound was measured in mice model using the rodent malaria Plasmodium berghei ANKA strain. We injected the blood cell, red blood cells infected with this parasite, and it is day 0. And after day 2, 3, 4, we injected the compound 3 times at a concentration of 20 milligram per kilo per day. And after 8 days, we measured the infected blood cells under the microscopic observation. Unfortunately, this efficacy was not completed or so strong. Non-treated cells infected about 10% of the malaria parasite, and after treatment with this compound, maybe around 20% will reduce the infection, but it's not enough to suppress the malarial symptom. This is a control experiment. We ectomized the liver and the spleen after injection of the malarial parasite, and at 8th day we observed the liver and the spleen. This is infected parasite, and this is control. After infection of malaria parasite, the color, it's difficult to see the color difference, but anyway, the spleen is enlarged, the swelling. This is a summary of the part 1 about the NPD compound. We screened about 70,000 compounds and selected 36 compounds as a hit. And the non-chloroquine antimalarial agents such as artemisinin and its derivatives were in our chemical library and were successfully isolated by the screening. It indicates the effectiveness of the screening. The NPD compound inhibited the growth of malaria parasite, including chloroquine in sensitive strains, but the in vivo efficacy was not enough. Then we try to another strategy to find the antimalarial agent. So we focus on the chelator libraries. Until now, there are several reports about iron chelator is effective to malaria. For example, alpha-keto hydroxypyridine. It's a very simple compound. It's in 1988, Hepler et al. Reported this compound is already active against malaria. And the peroxamine is a very famous iron chelating compound, and it's also active against malaria. Recently, Ferrer et al. Reported FBS compound is active against malaria only a single oral dose. It's a very interesting observation. This paper prompted us to make the chelating libraries. For example, these are the synthetic compounds, and these are the natural products. And we collected many iron chelators or metal chelators from our NPDepo libraries. And we applied these chelators to the LDH assay system at 300 nanogram or 130, 3 nanogram per ml. The one compound, we named it L6, has a very potent activity against malaria parasite. IC50 value is around 80 nanomolar. And the L6 compound is active against sensitive, chloroquine-sensitive strain, and but a little bit toxic to mammalian cells, listed here. Therefore, we try to find the more mild cytotoxic derivatives or L6. Then we added several metal complex of L6. And we found that L6E is less toxic to mammalian cells like this, about a tenfold less than L6 regarding the cytotoxicity. But against the antimalarial activity, also tenfold less active compared with L6. But fortunately, we found that L6A is very potent to parasite and also less toxic to mammalian cells. It is a good profile as an antimalarial agent. Also, we tested both compounds to sensitive chloroquine-sensitive strain and also chloroquine-resistant strains. And this compound, L6, is, as I mentioned, this compound is very potent to sensitive and resistant Plasmodium parasite. And also, this L6A compound is active against both sensitive and resistant strains. Then we try to evaluate in vivo system. We injected a red blood cell infected with a malaria parasite. This is a non-treated mice after 8 days. Can you see the hair condition? This hair condition is very rough and very toxic. But these L6A injected mice are very healthy, okay, as an appearance of the hair condition. This is a mortality of the survival of the mice after injection of L6 and the L6A. The L6 is very potent in vitro. However, it's too toxic to mammalian cells. Therefore, if we inject L6 to mice, this is control mortality of the mice. The L6 is killing the mice, but L6A has a very potent antimalarial activity in vivo like this. After 30 days, several mice are survive. This is very hopeful for our future development of this compound. This is a summary of part 2. We constructed the chelator library composed of the synthetic compounds and the natural products. The compound 6, one of the synthetic chelators, showed a potent antimalarial activity in vitro. However, the cytotoxicity of L6 was too strong. Therefore, we made the L6A, a metal complex of compounds L6, and it showed the ideal antimalarial activity in vivo among the compounds we tested. This is the final slide, and I acknowledge the lab members, especially Dr. Hayase had a nice work about antimalarial screening. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
We thank you very much for the presentation and congratulations for this huge work, and which might be sometimes frustrating for the patients. So I understand now you're resistant to this kind of convention. Now the paper is open for discussion. If we could have short questions and short answers.
It's a good necessary.
The people with malaria in Africa.
Just a small question. You're always testing against Plasmodium falciparum species?
Oh, we utilize several strains of it.
Okay. And did you test against the Nalesi also, the new species from Asia, or not at all?
It's from chimpanzee and then
Actually, I'm not a specialist of the malaria, but only 4 strains of a malaria parasite can cause the symptom of human.
Yeah.
But we cannot use the Plasmodium parasite, which can infect the human. So we always utilize
The falciparum, yeah. And
or
also you don't have
Brunei.
this, you don't have this the liver phase of the others, so you don't know if the medication would be active on this one.
Sorry.
other questions.
Curiosity about your introduction on chemical libraries, because we also have a collection of compounds. You told us about fractional library, meaning that they come from purification by HPLC-MS?
Yeah,
So it's,
semi-purified.
Not completely pure.
With the analytical columns, or
The separation column.
okay, so it's
More
a small
large.
scale. Small scale, and you collect the fractions, and then you can store all the fractions. Then you can do biological tests on each one.
Yes.
Okay, that's the
And
same.
each fraction contains several compounds, the mixture
Yeah,
of them.
two. Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you very much, and I have to give you, I have to give you the right one.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.